Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Samuel here. Got my man Lucas here. We are here for the Fantastic Fest, right? Is that said it right? I think I said it right.
Hey, look, I don't know. I was thinking it was something with a horror movie title for the longest time, like Fright Fest. I don't know why I wanted to call this Fright Fest over and over and over again, but it is Fantastic Fest 2020.
Cool. Yeah, because I was slightly worried that I was like butchering that name. But with Fantastic Fest, I was surprised because they had some interesting movies that we were kind of intrigued by. The one that kind of like sprung up on us randomly today is this one right here. I'm gonna try to pull it up right now. It is called Girl. This is directed by Chad Faust. The weird thing about him is the only movie I already remember him from is Descent with Rosario Dawson, which is a terrible image of my head. But he was an actor that. But for this one, he wrote it, he directed it, and from my understandings, with a little bit of the background, they really wanted it to be a bigger story with a bigger cast and even a wider scope. But he was like, in order to kind of tell the story he wanted to and actually get it made, he had to condense it a lot. And he kind of limited his cast and kind of keep it a more simplistic, rifting story. So me and Lucas, we haven't discussed this yet.
A bit so.
So what we'll do is we'll break this down into different sections. We'll first talk about the cinematography and the way that it actually looked, as well as the soundtrack and the actual sound for this. What did you think about the cinematography and the visuals for this movie?
For a movie that was clearly a lower budget film, it is shot extremely well.
Yeah.
He gets some amazing selections for certain visuals that he gives out in this film. For a film of this nature, which is I'm not gonna call it a psychological thriller, but like a mystery thriller, maybe.
Yeah, something on that lines, yeah.
This is some of the best cinematography for that genre this year. So it really sticks out from time to time, especially the way he shoots Bella Thorne. He really shoots her with compassion, which is something you don't normally get out of these type of movies, especially when you're looking at the main character and trying to build up that main character. For them to turn around and shoot her with compassion and questionably shoot everyone else, not in a bad way, but questionably meaning like you never know in the way that they're shooting, the way that he's shooting them, if they're guilty or innocent, but you always have compassion for her character.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And even like certain specific shots, like even in the opening shot, you know, they really focus in on her in the engaging conversation she's having with her mom. Like they kind of put her mom to the slant in the dark. As far as color grading and color balancing, they made sure that every character kind of laid to this kind of dark kind of place. To the point that when they finally got to the bar, when she got to the bar and stuff like that, I was like, I didn't know if I was more afraid of what she was capable of or everybody in the bar. Cause I was like, this town seems so dark that I was like, she don't need to be there. Like, I was like, everybody there could be in on the same exact thing that she's trying to do.
Yeah, the way they pose it that way.
And I love that. I love that I didn't know what she was capable of, and I didn't know who did what, or you know, who was kind of behind the scenes being dirty and grimy. And to be quite honest with you, another thing I really liked was the soundtrack. I think that the soundtrack and the score, for me, sometimes you know, you put certain soundtrack, like certain songs just don't flow well. I think a lot of the soundtrack and the score for this really flowed pretty naturally. It didn't feel forced. It felt like it was its own contained film score. You know what I mean? I don't know how to really describe it. Like even there was a moment when she was in the laundromat, and she meets up with somebody.
Yep, that's the best way to put that. She meets up with somebody.
The Charmer. His name was the Charmer. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call him. She meets up with the Charmer, and like it's a really weird scene. Like she's kind of like half naked. They're having this conversation, but the score starts to slowly build to the point that she got the axe, and I was like, is she a psycho? Or some people they just are conditionally okay with being around dangerous other crazy people. I was like, I really didn't know, because I was like, it's obviously something wrong with him. Another cool thing is that that's the director, and I think that he played a pretty good role. Like he did a good job for what the crazy side of what this town could really be. I guess the next thing we got to talk about is the acting. I think that Bella Thorne did an amazing job. I really think that she did what I didn't think was doable. And initially I was kind of like, yo, you kind of grimy. And at the same time, I kind of feel you. And then I was like, yo, why are you so stupid? Like there's a moment that happens at the very first act. And I was like, why did you go in that barn? And why are you touching things? Like, what are you doing?
That
and I was like, that's a stupid decision. But then, I think one of the things she does so well is she plays up, the turmoil that's within her, as well as levels of innocence. It's weird. Like the innocence that comes out when people start to give her information. The more information she starts to get, you see the sincerity behind why she is what she is. And I think that's a hard emotion to kind of convey a lot of the time, like in characters that, are with the intent of killing people. I think the most comparable one I would say is when I looked at the last Netflix movie with, what was it, Tom Holland? Tom Holland did a little bit of that, but she did it 3 times better. I really like where she carried her character. But what did you think about the actors and the acting in this one specifically?
Now, this is, first I'm gonna say, this is how you can tell the difference when Sam does a movie review versus when I do a movie review. We our styles are a little different. Our expectations may be a little different. I thought, especially Bella Thorne, it was insert film mystery character here type of performance. Like she didn't necessarily wow me. It was the bargain basement type of performance that I would expect to get out of this type of film from her. The difference is you haven't seen Bella Thorne in this type of film before. So at times when I wanted her to pull more out of her character, I don't think she's capable of doing it yet, because this is something new to her. So she's never played a character this type, this dark, this many possible dimensions that you can pull out of a character. She wasn't able to do that. It was really just, again, Amanda Seinsfeld, I think I'm saying her name right. Years ago, she did this thriller where I want to say a family member got killed, and she was searching for, I cannot remember the name of this thriller. I wish I could. But when I was watching Bella's performance, that's all I thought of was her performance in that film. And I'm like, well, when I saw that film, I thought the same thing. It was like, just insert performance here. It's nothing that's going to stick out. The ones that stick out in this movie, I think the director, Faust, does a good job, but at times he overacts. And at times, I think it throws Bella off, especially in their scenes together. The actor that shines, though, is Mickey Rourke. First, I did not know that was Mickey Rourke. I did not know that. I had the slightest idea. He's changed his face a little bit since the last time I saw him. But, like, again, Mickey gives just that wild, insane, stalkerish type of performance that you're used to him. Just against actors who I don't think are adequate enough to act against him. and it makes him shine even more at times, and it makes his performance stick out even more at times. I loved his performance in this movie. The bar owner, I can't remember the guy's name. I looked it up and still can't remember his name.
Oh, the actor? It's Glen
yeah.
Gould, I think, something like that.
Okay. Yes, he's really good in a quiet performance here.
Yeah.
Especially in this type of movie where it's needed to have these quiet performances. As you can tell through this whole review with me and Sam, one thing you should always keep an eye on with this movie is something, an old Western trick that they used to do. No character has a name.
Not
It's
one.
the girl.
Yeah.
It's the bartender. It's mom. It's the sheriff. It's the charmer. They set it up that way, which is just kind of like a spaghetti western in that way. So it really leads to the actors having to really bring out that dimension of their characters more. That's why Mickey Rourke stood out more to me, and that's why the barkeep, he stood out more in just his quietness. It's a scene where him and Bella are having a conversation about two individuals in the town, and his wording and just his directness with her, and still in a quiet tone, comes across so powerful, just to let her know how serious a threat these people are in that town.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree that the barkeep, I mean, one of the things about the film, the movie keeps pivoting back to the bar because she literally has nowhere else to go. Like, she has no cellular service. She doesn't really know anybody that she can really trust. Honestly, the barkeep's the only person that for a minute, I was like, yo, the barkeep in it, because if he is, like, she's hit. But it always focuses back to him. And I think he has a very quiet but yet stern. It's not a stereotypical barkeep kind of role. He's multidimensional, and there's a little bit of sincerity and honesty about the way that he delivers his performance. Two kind of other characters was it Betty? That was the black lady played by Lanette Ware. The
only one they give a name to.
Yeah, the first and second act. It was kind of, she was just weird. Her character was just all over the place. I didn't really know, what she was going on her. It wasn't until the third act that I was kind of like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. And I think her line delivery with that was the performance that for Bella, I was kind of like, that was one of the better scenes, because that was when everything kind of got unraveled and broken up. And another actor was the mama.
Mama.
I think this is the thing about the character Mama. How do I put this? They scripted her character very well, in the sense of the build up until I think the third act, because I was like, wait, some pieces are missing, And like by the end of it, I was like thrown by how well they brought and fleshed her character out. The only thing was, I felt like it was kind of like a missed opportunity at the very end. I was like, y'all could really raise the bar if y'all did this.
I think more out of Mama, especially without giving away anything. In the third act is a pivotal moment that happens, and you're kind of expecting Mama to show up right then, and set the tone to like really flip the movie on its head. It doesn't happen, but it's still a good payoff. It just could have been a great payoff if they would have done it that way.
Yeah, I really felt like that was an opportunity to kind of show a whole different level to where the movie, because the biggest thing about it is, for the theme of the film, is generational. The conversation that happens in the laundromat, without spoiling anything, is one of the most important points of the whole movie. If you're really paying attention to the conversation, you'll get everything that's going on within the town with Bella and everything. And it's all generational. It's all connected. It's all about, legacy and what you leave behind. And it plays a weird theme about this one, from blood and and from a lot of deceit and lies. all revolves around that. And I felt like for that specific third, I was like, bro, y'all could really pay this off, considering the mindset and how the girl really is. Like, she's off. Like, she's, she got some screws loose.
She was hanging on by a thread after that final conversation with Betty. And at
Yeah.
that point, you're expecting a bigger, more powerful reveal than you get, especially when she meets up with certain other characters after the reveal. You're like, this is the point right here where this could like really come together and just blow your mind. And it never really happens.
Yeah, I think I was kind of looking for a get out situation. If Lucas understands what I mean, but but as a film, I think that the story is simplistic in its nature. It is a thriller, kind of, but it's more so a puzzle piece too. Like, it is about, what you're trying to figure out where Bella's going, where the girl is actually going, what she's there for, what this does with her mom, with her dad. But bigger than that is all the puzzle pieces are revolving around this town and what this town has done. And I think that was the thing that kind of engaged me about the story. I did have a lot of fun with it. It is not a happy story. It is very bleak and it's very dark. I do think it was very well shot and scored. And I did like Mickey Rourke's character. It's just the weird thing about Mickey Rourke's character, and I don't know if you can agree to this, is that did you feel like there was moments that he was holding back?
100%.
How dark he could be?
Well, I think that was a call from the director, because if you let Mickey Rourke go as far as we know Mickey Rourke can go, he can overshadow everyone else. Like, Mickey has that type of talent. And when you're in this film, as Sam said, it's kind of hard to describe. To me, it's a film noir. And that's why you get the characters and everything the way it is. And with that type of film, the goal is for everyone to be on even playing field. You never want a single character to stick out too much. And that's what it comes across at times with Mickey, when it feels like he's severely holding back what he really wants to do with this role, because this isn't the type of movie for him to do that with the role.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because the way that they were kind of describing the Q&A that this was supposed to be a way bigger film, I can see why they casted him for that specific role, because there were moments, you guys, you'll see it when you see the movie yourself, that I was kind of like, yo, he's about to go off. Like, and there was nothing about his character for me that felt like any level of innocence at all. Like, there was nothing pure. There wasn't anything kind.
The moment he comes on screen, right within the first 6 minutes of this movie, he comes across as the creepiest person humanly possible. Like, they set it up from the beginning to let you know this character is not good. You may have questions about every other character, but this one character, you will not. And I think it's set up that way for a reason. It kind of, again, if in a great film noir fashion, it points you up front to who the hero and the villain is.
Yeah.
These are the two characters up front in the beginning of the movie that you get a clear direction on who they are. You get it on the girl and you get it on the sheriff. Everyone else in between, you're kind of wondering about. But not those two.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the biggest thing that I did like is that both the mom and the father, they describe in such ways that they paint a picture for you. If you're really paying attention, they paint a really interesting picture for both of the characters without them even being on screen. And I like that. I personally like that as a viewer, to kind of see something unravel like that, and just explanation through circumstance and through harsh circumstance. She finally getting the revelation of all of it by the end of it. But I do think that they could have went a lot farther. I think I'm gonna rest this at like a 7. I'm between 6.5 and a 7 out of 10 for me. I did enjoy it though. Where you leaving it at?
Well, because it is a genre pick, and I have a rule when I review certain genre picks that they are all on a sliding scale, especially a sliding pandemic scale. Because listen, this movie would not get any attention if we were not in a pandemic. So when I rate a film like this, I rate it on if you're sitting at home, you have nothing else to watch, and you're looking for something interesting to tune into, that would give this movie a 7.5 to me. It is interesting enough. I know I said some things that will make you think I'm crazy, that I thought this was a negative movie, but it will keep you engaged enough. The performances are good enough to keep you engaged. The story is extremely interesting. I understand they wanted to make it a bigger piece, and I'm kind of happy they didn't. The simplistic nature of this film really works for this genre.
Yeah.
This is a type of film that actually it lends itself to repeat viewing, and that's why I give it a 7.5. Like I can sit down and not be bothered to see this again.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, especially with films in 2020, that you can just say, I can sit down and watch this a couple of times and it never really bothered me that it's on. It's a very smooth, if that's the, I don't know if that's the correct word I'm looking for, but it feels like it's a smooth film. You don't get these type of films too often. And that other one, Amanda Seinfeld, the name of that movie was Gone.
Oh,
and again, that's what it reminds me of. It's all in that same genre. Gone, Brick, all of those noir thriller type of films. It's in that same genre. Bella Thorne, again, I thought it was again a average performance, but still good enough. Mickey Rourke is what you come to see. Mickey Rourke is who you will stay to see. Mickey Rourke is who you will fall in love with after this movie for his crazy nature and everything included. So 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I think with Bella is that this is the best performance I've seen her do. And I think that's where I'm kind of like, yes. I was thrown off because I was like, is this the same chick that I'm thinking? Like, nah, she did a really good job.
It was a movie with Anne Hathaway. Was it Rachel something? I can't remember it. Where it was her first time taking on a huge role, and she felt kind of out of herself at times, and it didn't click all the way. But you see the promise of what's to come after that. That's what this is for Bella. Clearly, the role I think could have been too big for her right now. But if this is what we're going to get in her career moving forward, this shows a lot of promise, because she went from like kiddie movies to this. Like that's a huge jump in the quality of work. So again, I applaud her for that, and that lets me know that future projects she could really be great in them.
Yeah, and I guess my final comment is that for the longest time throughout watching this movie, I felt like this movie felt like a rated R film, but nothing in it was really merited a rated R rating. This could technically pass to be a PG-13 film. And I have to give credit to the director, because every single scene felt like, oh man, somebody about to get got. Oh man, this is about to be gory. And not that he pulled any punches, it was just the way it was written. The way it was written didn't go for a gore fest for no good reason. It didn't go for pulling punches either. Like, there are some things that happen, and from a verbiage standpoint, like, it's some things that happen, but they don't add unnecessary dialogue. They don't add unnecessary violence. But the movie felt like a rated R film. I felt like anything could happen at any time, and I love that. And it's probably is going to end up passing as a PG-13 film, which is weird. I don't think I've seen a movie in a while that did that. But
every word was intentional. That's the best way to put it.
Yep.
Every word in this script was intentional. Every word was spoken with purpose. It wasn't that, okay, it's some moments in the film that could lead to gore, and they still choose not to. Like, that's not an easy thing to pull off.
Yeah. Even like some of the deaths that happen, like, are not, they're not overly gratuitous for no good reason. Like, it's messed up, like some messed up stuff, but
now, I wonder the tone where they just turn around and give it an R rating.
I don't know. That's a really great question. I would love to ask the director, like, if they gave this an R, would you be upset, or would you actually be proud? Because he should be honestly proud, because there's nothing about this movie that technically merited to be a rated R movie. It isn't. but tonally, this doesn't feel like a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, this is not a PG-13 movie by its tone.
But I don't know. Well, we're gonna stop here. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed our review, our tag team. We're about to talk about some Lovecraft in a second. I'll talk to you guys later. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Definitely go and check out Lou in the description bar below. You can follow him there, and we're out. Peace, guys.